Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday, so please make sure to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got a lot to discuss today here. So Bitcoin obviously shot to the upside significantly yesterday, and Ethereum as well, and we have seen some nice movements for some altcoins within the last 24 hours. Solana is up 15.78% to $130. Cardano is up almost 9%, and we have Dogecoin up over 30% as well, which is absolutely crazy. Now, at the moment, Chainlink is trading at $20, up 3.6%. We have seen it kind of have a little bit of a delayed response to some pumps that we've seen earlier on this year, so I wonder if that is the case for Solana there. And Polkadot is still only up 3% within the last 24 hours, but up a nice 15 within the last week to $8.74. But overall, markets are looking green, and that's the best thing that we could ask for here. Markets are looking super green. So if we take a look at the biggest gainers and losers of the day, biggest gainers, we've got some huge gains there that we've just discussed. In terms of biggest losers, we've got VET down almost 10% there, Stacks down 6%, and Rune down over 4%. So big changes in the markets here. I know Theta had a nice pump yesterday. Now it's had a little bit of a retracement, but we can expect some fluctuations in the markets. It's been a very volatile time, and with the volatility to the upside, we have to accept that we may see a little bit of volatility to the downside as well. But lots to discuss today. Let's crack on with what's going on with Bitcoin first of all. So Bitcoin logs its biggest single day gain since October. Market neutral bets yield 3 times US Treasury notes. And what else have we got here? Dogecoin bullish bets reached record $1 billion. The tokens were up over 40% in the last 24 hours, continuing a rally as a beta bet on the blockchains they are based on. And we have in this article concerns about a bull market. So let's take a look at what's going on with the Bitcoin chart here, what levels of support and resistance we have, and what this pump means for the future of the market, because it's been an interesting time. It's been a brilliant 24 hours, but we need to think about what's happening next. Good morning, everybody in the chat today. Good morning, Jason Smith. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Bina. Good morning, Rob C. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, very much appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We are looking at the price of Bitcoin right now. So the Matrix Port co-founder expects Bitcoin pullback soon, highlighting that March is looking particularly uncertain. But if we take a look at what's been going on here, we've been moving to the upside significantly right now, and we all know that this price action wasn't really supposed to happen until post-halving. If we were to go into those 4-year cycles, typically we create a new all-time high a couple of months after halving, and typically we're about 30% below the all-time high at this point in time. We are very, very close to that all-time high now, though. If we look at the all-time high at $69,000, we got to just 6% below that, which is absolutely insane price action for Bitcoin pre-halving. Now, if we put some indicators on here, let's put on the Bitcoin halving and see what's going on there. So we have until around, let's get dark mode back on. Dark mode is better. Here we go. We have until around mid-April 2024. So let's put a line in there until the Bitcoin halving occurs. Now, if we take a look, that is only 52 days away. So we are edging closer and closer to that every single day, hitting that more bullish period every single day, and definitely something that I'm very much looking forward to. Typically the Bitcoin halving does trigger a massive bull market, and if this is the price action we can see pre-halving, then we need to be excited for what could happen post-halving. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So we have seen a significant move to the upside. We have currently been kind of stopped a little bit. We've seen a little bit of a pause by some levels of resistance at that $64,000 level. If we take a look at, in fact, let's take that line off and let's put a horizontal line on there. A horizontal line, there we go, at $64,000. If we pull this back to what happened in the previous bull market, are we going to get there? It's going to take a while. Here we go. You can see this was used significantly in the previous bull market. So you can see we actually had some levels of resistance around here, couple of times, and levels of support. And if we go back even further, you can see this was really the peak for that April-May pump that we saw, March-April pump that we saw earlier on in that cycle, because we did get some sort of double top in the last cycle, and this was the first top essentially. So massively, I mean, we knew this was going to be a resistance, we just didn't know we were going to challenge it so quickly. So right now what we're seeing is we are looking at that level of resistance, and it is holding right now. I hope that we do see a breakout to the upside soon. I think what could be in store here is, as I always say, potentially some sideways action here. We've seen a really nice move to the upside. A lot of people are calling for lower prices. I mean, if you look at this price action, we all know that this kind of bullish momentum isn't sustainable. We do need to retest some levels of resistance and hope that they are used as a level of support. I think the best case scenario here is we see some sideways action for Bitcoin, because that means that Ethereum could have its time to shine. Now, if we take a look at what's going on with Ethereum right now, you can see that it's just been rallying to the upside. In fact, today it's been outperforming Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart here. So Bitcoin did batter Ethereum yesterday. We just saw a significant rally there, and Bitcoin was outperforming Ethereum pretty dramatically. But we have had some sort of bounce on that today, as what typically happens is Bitcoin performs really, really well, and then we see some sort of cool off period where maybe its bullish momentum isn't as strong. Maybe we're seeing some sideways action, and that's when Ethereum can really start to play catch up, and that's what's been happening today. So Bitcoin started to see a little bit of sideways action, and Ethereum's continuing to rally to try and catch up there. So hopefully this continues and Ethereum gets its time to shine as Bitcoin consolidates at these price points. Some consolidation is definitely what we want to be seeing in the markets right now. Being on an upwards trajectory isn't something that's sustainable. We need sideways action. We need to be creating levels of supports at these points. We do not want to just be continuing up in a straight line, because that means we can continue down in a straight line when things turn for the worst as well. And as TMG said yesterday, we've seen institutional buying. Wait until we see institutional selling. We cannot just have an up-only mentality. We need to be prepared that there is some volatility in the markets here. It's not always going to be in our favor, so be prepared for that. But we just need to be cautious and try and position yourselves in the market perfectly so that in either scenario you can benefit from this. That is why I always choose to dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out, and that way I'm not emotional either direction Bitcoin takes. But right now, Bitcoin's been positive. It's been super bullish. Ethereum is up really nicely as well to $3,470. Maybe we will claim that $3,500 level once again today. Fingers crossed. It's been on a really nice trajectory here to the upside. As I said, typically we don't see this kind of price action until post-halving, but it's nice to see it now. It is incredibly nice to see it now. If we take a look at some Bitcoin liquidations here, let's take a look at what's been happening, because this helps us get an indication of where we have some magnets on the Bitcoin chart. Now, if we look at the 24-hour chart, we really don't have too much to be concerned about. If we have a look at the 3-month chart, you can see again, I'm not too concerned by any of this. In fact, this chart makes me feel really positive about what's going on. If we take a look at this chart, there are no real key levels that would attract Bitcoin to move to those points to liquidate traders. The biggest one we have is down at $34,000. Now, obviously that is possible. Bitcoin could shed 50% of its value. We have seen that before post-halving. I do believe we would need a black swan event for that but it is still possible. I don't think it's not a super strong level of liquidation. We've seen brighter levels of liquidation on this chart. Essentially, if Bitcoin were to go down to $34,000, we'd see a huge amount of traders liquidated. We know Bitcoin takes the path of most pain, and I think this chart is better to look at on when you're closer to the Bitcoin price action. To look at this 50% below it and say that's a massive magnet, I wouldn't necessarily think that's true. I think there is some potential for Bitcoin to have a little bit bearish momentum after yesterday. 50%, I question that. And I don't think that level is strong enough to be the catalyst for that. So I think there aren't really too many concerns on the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin, which is exactly what we wanted to hear this morning after that nice movement yesterday. So let's take a look at what else is going on. Somebody says in the chat, can we have a look at Solana? Absolutely, we can. Good morning, everybody in the chat today. Please don't forget to to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. What we are going to do today is we're going to take a look through Solana and some altcoins and the news and see what's going on. But when it comes to the charts, I mean, we're just moving up in a straight line. All we can do is go back to the previous bull market and see where we had some significant levels of resistance, because when you've moved up in a straight line, there's really not that much to chart. I mean, we can see here that we do have some levels of resistance. I definitely say we have a level of resistance at this $143 level because we've used this as a level of resistance here and a level of support a couple of times as well. If we go to where we are now, we have not yet tried to attack that, but we will keep an eye on that. We do actually have some levels here on the daily chart that we can take a look at as well. So I'm looking at that level there as a support at $103. Obviously, if you take these two highs, you can see we've had a breakout here. So it'd be interesting to see how high this can go. Peridita, am I saying that right? Are there any CME gaps? Well, it is Thursday. We have closed the recent CME gap, but we'll pull it up and take a look at that. So the CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is operational every Monday to Friday. When they are not operational, when they are closed on a Friday, this chart just completely pauses, but we all know the Bitcoin chart doesn't pause. So Bitcoin carries on fluctuating as it does, and then when Monday starts and the CME opens again, the CME will just start a new candle wherever the Bitcoin price is. So it creates sort of like a gap on the chart here. So this is the Friday candle, Bitcoin's price closed at $39,000, and then this is the Monday candle where Bitcoin opened at $40,000. Now, this gap may not look significant, but it definitely is, because the CME gap acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. To fill a CME gap, the Bitcoin price needs to see price action within that range, and until it does that, it acts like a magnet. So if we take a look at Bitcoin, we could take a look at what CME gaps we have in the markets here. So far, right now, the only one we have that has not been filled is at $20,330. So not too much of a concern to me. As soon as a gap is filled, it no longer acts like a magnet for the price. So that's the only one we're really looking at, but that is an entire let's see, minus 67%. Now, does Bitcoin typically do that pre-halving? No, it did in the last pre-halving because of what happened in 2020, but unless we see a black swan event, I think the probability is unlikely. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. Let's take a look at ADA, because somebody said this in the chat. Nice pump from ADA. My first ever crypto investment was in ADA. We are pumping nicely, currently at 0.6936. What we've got here is a massive move to the upside. If we take a look the 4-hour chart, it's significant. It's just rallying right now, and I think this is the opportunity that I was waiting for yesterday. Yesterday we saw Bitcoin perform really, really well, and we did see Ethereum perform well and a couple of other tokens, but we all really know that when this happens, once Bitcoin starts to calm down, this is when the high cap coins can play catch up. So that's really important there. We're also looking at Polkadot here. It's performing okay. We have seen better price movements here. I have actually just taken a look at Twitter. In fact, let's pull this up. I want to show you one of TMG's tweets that he's just put up this morning, because he's gone super bullish on Polkadot. So let's take a look at that. That Martini guy, let's see what he's been saying about Polkadot this morning. You can see this year Polkadot is one of my large cap picks to 50 plus X. I'm consider selling my Elrond to buy more. It is the largest underappreciated network, over 2,000 developers building, 83,000 monthly users. Why is Polkadot different to the hundreds of competitors? Well, in Polkadot 2, they launched parachains and closed networks. Polkadot 2.0 is a different beast, most notably efficient synchronous backing, the democratic open gov model, and reliable accords for cross-chain communication. Polkadot is faster, safer, and more adaptable than ever. The 4 Polkadot-based projects are growing faster than most things on the market. So we've got some examples of projects built on the Polkadot blockchain there, and they also got their anticipated community built meme coin dead airdrop coming soon. This removes liquidity from the exchanges, making a poker pump way more likely. I like that, a poker pump. This will bang hard. This is why Polkadot is my top bet for 2024. Very interesting analysis there. Be interesting to see how this plays out. If we take a look at Polkadot, it did reach highs of over $55 in the previous bull market and it is currently trading at $8.76. I think the most bullish chart that I've seen when it comes to Polkadot is the .BTC chart, because it's been absolutely destroyed during this bear market compared to its Bitcoin value, and I'd like to see a strong recovery here. I would love to see Polkadot recover against Bitcoin and make some significant gains. I mean, if Polkadot can recover its Bitcoin value from the past bull market, we're looking to be up 624%. That would be delicious. That would be delicious. I'd love to see that in the markets. But we'll have to stay tuned on that. If you have any other altcoins you want us to go through today, make sure to hit those in the live chat, and also make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's check out how many subscribers we've got on the channel today, because we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers before the month ends. Luckily, it's a leap year, so we've got an extra day to try and make that happen. We're on 3,963. I would appreciate it if you could all like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, comment down below, and interact with the stream as much as possible. It really helps the channel grow. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the market. So first of all, first article of the day, BlackRock leads a Bitcoin ETF hit record $673 million inflow in a single day. So collective net inflows into Bitcoin ETFs soared to $7.4 billion, equivalent to 145,000 Bitcoin. That is absolutely insane. So data from BitMEX shows a $673 million inflow in a single day, equivalent to 11,122 Bitcoin. We all know that miners are only making about 900 Bitcoin per day, so this is a significant difference there. Bitcoin is flowing out of the markets into these ETFs at a faster rate than ever, and we're seeing this continue to increase, especially obviously with that bullish movement yesterday coming off the back of this as well. So really bullish news here. We're also seeing Morgan Stanley evaluating spot Bitcoin ETFs for its giant brokerage platform. Brilliant to see things like this, to see more people getting involved. Since spot Bitcoin ETFs went live in January, chatter has increased about the imminent arrival of the big registered investment advisor networks and broker-dealer platforms. So it's deciding whether to offer spot Bitcoin ETFs to customers of its large brokerage platform. This is exactly what we want to see. So it's just giving more people immediate access rather than getting people to jump through hoops and changing platforms and whatever. Just launching spot Bitcoin ETFs onto another large broker platform gives more accessibility to people, and that's what we need. We need it to be as easily accessible as possible so people don't need to jump through those hoops, because those hoops are going to put people off and just make it take longer for people to do their research and realize the potential that's here. So definitely a positive article there. And we also have ETF update, new all-time high volume. GBTC outflow beat February record, so we are actually seeing outflows for GBTC continue. We did think they were slowing down, but it turns out they are not. So what we've seen here is this figure significantly outstripped the previous record of $4.66 billion, which was set on launch day, where most of the volume was generated by GBTC, not the new 9. Yesterday's record, fueled by BlackRock's IBIT, suggests that GBTC is no longer the main fuel in the Bitcoin ETF market. So not all of the volume is coming from GBTC, but we are still seeing outflows there. Let's take a look at what's going on in the chat here. We've got some altcoin suggestions, so we will go through those later on in today's stream, but we've got some news to discuss first, so please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button, and we'll take a look through this. So Coinbase suffers errors due to large influx in traffic. When Bitcoin was pumping yesterday, we did see the platform suffer from some kind of crash, user interface error, so people couldn't really transact as they normally want to. I mean, we've seen this so many times with so many of the leading centralized exchanges. I'm not really here for pointing this out and saying, look, Coinbase is terrible, use another exchange. All of the exchanges suffer when Bitcoin is incredibly volatile because of the amount of traffic going onto the webpage. Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong has said, "We are dealing with a large surge of traffic. Apologies for any issues you encounter. The team is working to remediate. However, the replies to the situation were not of concern, but instead highlighted what an influx of users means. Now this is a vintage bull run, says Alex Becker. So this is what we've seen over and over again in the previous market. Every time Bitcoin pumped, or in fact every time Bitcoin dumped in the bear market as well, we were seeing exchanges not be able to deal with the volume. And we've seen this over and over again. It's so frustrating because it means you can't immediately access your trades. Sometimes I've gone to try and put a quick trade on, and I've just missed the opportunity because the exchange interface isn't working as it should, or I've tried to exit a trade and I haven't been able to because the exchange interface is crashed because there's so many people trying to access the website. And I understand why there are problems here. I think it's just something that we need to accept. Obviously the teams can work to try and deal with this, but the main thing to take away here is we're seeing a large surge of traffic on exchanges. It's not just the tumbleweed going across the desert anymore in crypto like it was in December 2022. Instead, it's super bullish. People are in the space. People are going on exchanges and actively keeping an eye on what's going on with the Bitcoin price. So really nice to see these changes in the markets again. And it's nice to see this price action to the upside. I think now that we are so close to the Bitcoin all-time high, we can finally say we were right. We were right to be in here during the bear market. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. So we've got Linux moves to return 100% of fees generated to token holders. So the Uniswap Foundation's release of the fee switch proposal has sent the market into a frenzy as the revenue sharing token narrative rises like a phoenix from the ashes. This was exactly what we expected when Uniswap Foundation first released their proposal. We've seen the domino effect as it hits other projects throughout the markets as well. And we are seeing, obviously, some nice pumps off the back of this with other projects trying to get involved with that hype. Let's see what else is going on here. So Bitcoin breaks level not seen since November 2021. I mean, it's brilliant to see. It is brilliant to see. I'm not getting super... I'm not getting in an only mentality, but it's just really nice to appreciate that, look, we've been here since $16,000. It's now at 60. What's the exact price right now? Let's take a look. BTC USDT. We're now at $62,700. And you know what? Bitcoin's seen this massive spike, but it's holding these levels. It's holding these levels. Yes, we did get as high as 64,000, but to be holding 62.7 after a rally like that from down at $51,000 is not bad at all. And if we can continue to hold these levels and build some new levels of support at this price point, I do believe it really will be Ethereum and some high capped coins time to shine. Let's carry on with the latest news though, and then we'll take a look at what's going on in the chat. Rob says, what about yesterday's Coinbase outage, strategic price dump and locked users out so they could buy the dip? I don't know. I don't think it's as malicious as that. I think we've seen this over and over again. We see rumors of this every time we see Bitcoin be incredibly volatile. It could be. I'm not ruling out the question, but I think if we all had built a website with these volumes going onto the website every single time Bitcoin pumps, yes, you can say they should be more prepared, but the amount of users going on these exchanges is extreme, and to build a website that can withstand that is incredibly difficult. And we've seen this with many different exchanges, so you can't just say, look, this has happened, so Coinbase has been doing X, Y, and Z, because it happens all the time in crypto. Unfortunately, it does. It's very frustrating because you can't easily access your assets, but it does happen all the time. I should do. I don't the majority of the time. If I'm making trades, if I'm making short-term trades, it's on centralized exchanges. Let's see what's going on here. Rob, apparently it's an organized dump and buy dip. I mean, the markets can be manipulated. We all know that. We've seen a massive move to the upside. It could be that those people are now choosing to sell their assets to buy the dip that they could create in a month's time. All of that is possible. The markets can be manipulated by bigger players in the space. We've got ETFs now here as well. We'll see what happens here. I'm really hoping for some sideways action and for some consolidation for Bitcoin so that Ethereum and some altcoins can really start to perform well there as well. Let's see what's going on here. Brandon E says, isn't it eerie that Coinbase goes down near the March all-time high? You're all very suspicious of Coinbase here. I mean, I've seen this over and over again with so many different centralized exchanges when Bitcoin is this volatile. We even saw it, I think, in my recollection, I'm pretty sure we saw things like this when FTX went down as well because of the extreme moves to the downside. We have seen this over and over again for a number of exchanges. This isn't the first time that it's happened. So I'm not really jumping on the idea that this is done on purpose to manipulate the markets. I really do believe that they've just had a surge of users that they could not hold the website interface up for. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. I could be wrong, but we have seen this before. Bitcoin breaks level not seen since November 2021. Telegram to implement ad share initiative based on Ton Network. So Telegram CEO has announced the social messaging application will implement an ad share scheme utilizing the Ton Network. I believe this is not for group chats, but for channels, and really allowing people to monetize on the platform. What else have we got here? Price speculators sees highest single day loss of $774 million year to date amid Bitcoin upward trajectory. So Bitcoin's price swings is a largely positive market, left eggs on the face of some traders. So Bitcoin, the bellwether digital asset, surged to its highest level since November 2021, surpassing $63,000. And this volatility has left a lot of traders short this year. And we're seeing almost 190,000 traders liquidated for $774 million there in the last 24 hours. Very volatile. Maybe that's why we shouldn't be bears. Maybe that's why we should all be bullish. Let's see what else is going on here. Marathon posts record growth in 2023 earnings, unveils Bitcoin's layer 2 and Juro. So the company mined a record 12,852 Bitcoin in 2023, which drove its revenue to $387.5 million. I hope this puts it in perspective for you. They've mined 12,852 Bitcoin, whereas we're seeing right now BlackRock are buying 11,122 Bitcoin in a single day. This mining company has been mining that much Bitcoin for a year, and BlackRock have just swooped all of that up in a single day. It's absolutely insane to see this amount of inflows for these ETFs, more than we could have ever imagined. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the chat. In the news, though, Webull entered crypto offerings due to SEC opposition during past IPO attempts. The online brokerage company is about to close a $7.3 billion SPAC deal, which will allow it to list on the NASDAQ, and for that, it has to end crypto offerings. And finally, Apple teases generative AI plans, hints at user devices playing a role. So they've got an incredible breakthrough potential for generative AI and is investing significantly in the area. So we'll see what comes of that. And we have seen that they've said they're no longer going on with their idea of building a car. But we have seen also, crypto Twitter's been full of Apple news in the last couple of days. I've also seen news that they are actually creating a ring that acts like your Apple Watch. And I'd like that because I hate wearing my Apple Watch. So I'd like to see what that is. Now we can use it, and apparently it's meant to be cheaper than the watch when that finally arrives as well. So interesting rumors about what's going on with Apple right now. But let's go on to the price of Bitcoin. We are trading at $62,805. Let's check in with the Ethereum Bitcoin price once again here on the hourly chart, seeing a little bit of stagnation, but we have seen a nice pump to start off the day here. So hopefully that continues. Bina says, even when the market was bearish, I was bullish and bought and bought and bought. 100% agree. That's what we have to do in the bear markets. It's so incredibly hard. So many people will call us lucky when we've been in this bear market, but it's so hard to stick around in a bear market, and people just do not understand. Yes, we were confident. Yes, we could say it with conviction, but there's always some doubts in your mind that things aren't going to turn out as you want them to. But we've stuck around and we were right. We've almost hit that new all-time high for Bitcoin. So really, really nice to see. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Somebody suggested some altcoins to look at. Peridita wants to look at Link. We've got Doge, Bonk, ICP. Let's take a look at these. Link, first of all, we are seeing it's pumping nicely actually for the last couple of hours here. Very nicely. Strangely, it moved up about 5% within a 5-minute window yesterday and then dropped significantly to the downside. Super volatile for Link. If anybody knows why that happened, please let me know in the chat because I was very shocked by that price action. But I was too busy watching the price of Bitcoin to find out why. So let me know if anybody knows anything about that. But right now what we're seeing is some levels of resistance for Link. Let's pull these up. We're looking at around that $20.16 level and the $20.50 level. Maybe there's some levels of resistance there, but it's doing nice. I like the Chainlink price action right now. Let's see what else is going on. Somebody says to take a look at Doge, and then we'll probably wrap up today's stream. How long have we been on the stream for? Does anybody have the stream time? Let's take a look at this. We've been on stream for half an hour now. Let's go through the price of Doge and see if there's anything else here. We've got 32 people watching today's stream and only 16 likes, so please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. This is absolutely crazy. This is the price of Doge right now on the daily chart. It's just up, up, and up. We can see this has happened before. I think we do have some levels of resistance to be watching out for here, but right now, it's on its bullish trajectory, and we don't know what's going to stop it. I think if Bitcoin starts to rally, yes, the altcoins may see a little bit of less volatility, but if Bitcoin continues on this sideways action, there's really some potential for those high cap coins, because that's what we see typically. If Bitcoin comes down, yes, they may see a little bit of drawdown, but if Bitcoin can just hold this price point, that's what I'm really hoping for over the weekend and over the start of next week, so we can really see these altcoins play catch up and maybe even outperform Bitcoin. But that's all we really have time for on today's stream. I think we've gone through everything we needed to go through. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. That's all from me today. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.